Well, ladies and gentlemen, friends and family, nieces and nephews, let me try to get rid of some of this background noise air. Look here now. You know, I'm not one, man, let me rephrase this. Most of you know that I'm tired of people just straight complaining about nonsense, whether it's handouts, complaining about nonsense. It's getting to the point that it's just straight ridiculous. And why I say that, I've been listening to how people are now complaining about what's going to happen in the next 48, 72 hours. People that got SNAP, EBT, they're not going to get it. And some people are trying to blame President Trump for it. And it's very interesting on how people are complaining to the wrong person or complaining about the wrong person. Because in essence, you first have to understand, just like when you was a little kid, you had a parent or parents, and you complained to them. They either whooped your tail because you did something wrong, or they heard your gripe and they tried to fix it. So why is it that in this society, there are so many people that are trying to blame Trump for this thing about EBT not being supplied to many, many families, which of course, again, for those that watch my show, The Fat Thatcher Show, I never find the situation I find in what the people are doing. So here once again, I'm sitting back in the news media watching, and as road trip down to take care of some business, I felt the need to reach out to some of you folks and say simply as such, stop being stupid, okay? Cut it out. Because at the end of the day, you're screaming and hollering to nothing but four walls, a bunch of people who don't care about you, people who just want to watch you rant and rave and call you every stupid name under the book because they can't see you, they can't hear you rather, they can't be near you, and sure as heck, they don't care about you. Same way as Ron from Ron's Opinion Matter Don't Matter, rather. When Ron from Ron's Opinion Don't Matter says Democrats are the ones who are the biggest thieves. And once again, Ron is right. Because what many of you fail to understand, when you look at the government and you want to blame Trump because Trump doesn't want to release a $600 billion fund for EBT and SNAP, what you fail to understand is that goes against the Big Beautiful Bill. Because in the Big Beautiful Bill, it specifically states no illegal immigrant, no illegal individual or family, let alone said, or a family member that's harboring an illegal immigrant would be allowed to sustain or obtain any federal funding. Now, when they say any, that also includes EBT, right? Because it's federally funded. It's not locally funded. It's federally funded. So when you hear Chuck Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries talk about, oh, it's President Trump that's holding the money, no, it's actually them. Because what you stupid people that want to follow along and say that Trump is wrong for holding on to that funding, you fail to understand is this. Why do we need to know what the hell is happening with people that want to have same-sex or sex with animals in other countries? Why is it that the taxpayers have to pay to have that study done? If you want to know what Timmy and Jill and Frank and Hakeem and Susan and anybody else who's having sex with animals and same-sex relationships, if you want to know what they do and how they do and why they do, you put your money up for it. Don't use every taxpayer's money. So when you turn around and you say Trump is at fault the same way Chuck Schumer is doing it and Hakeem Jeffries is doing it, and of course the senator from New Mexico is doing it, those three individuals are blaming, and probably most likely Nancy Pelosi, are all ganging up on Trump. And the most important part that many of you fail to understand is the reason why there's a Senate is because you have to have a unanimous decision when it comes to passing a bill and or releasing any kind of money. Same exact way when if you were working or you had a job or even if you've been on welfare for the past 50 some odd years, you had to sit in front of someone and that person had to talk to a whole lot of other people on behalf just to get you around for A, your paycheck, or B, your welfare funds. And then they came back and they sat down with you and said, this is what we can offer you. So the same exact way you personally is the same way the government is looking for those that are in the Senate to do the same thing. So what you hear is 13 times the Senate was approached to pass the bill and the Democrats continue to say no. Why? Because within their requests of passing the bill to subsidize and or to fund the EBT program, they want the president to also sign off, and they want the Republican Party, and this is what you don't understand. The Democrats want the Republican Party to agree to funding the illegal immigrants and those that are in other countries on same-sex ideas. Why is that so important? Because again, as many of us have learned over the past several years, what you choose to do in your sexual orientation, that's your choice. You don't force that on anyone because all that's going to do is going to create pushback. Somebody's going to get angry. Someone's going to say something to you. And 9 out of 10, you're going to get offended. And if you get offended, that's what tends to happen. So now you have to ask yourself this. If, in fact, the government is doing the same exact thing, which is what the Democrats are doing, because they're saying the only way we're going to agree to releasing any EBT funding is if you agree to allow us certain dollar amounts to continue our studies in other countries on the alphabet group. Now again, you got to understand why it's happening. When you have a Senate, you have an equal amount of people. So for example, there's 25 Republicans, 25 Democrats. You need a total of 40, I believe it's 40 or 30. Let's say in this moment, 30. You need 30 people to agree to a bill. So if 15 out of the 30 Democrats say yay, and 15 Democrats say no, you cannot have a unanimous decision. Somewhere along those lines. It has to be an equal amount of votes to pass the bill. So if you have, again, 30 Democrats and 30 actual Republicans, 30 say yes, 10 of Democrats do not agree and or agree, the majority of the Democrats say no, you can't get the bill passed because it's not a unanimous decision. So that's the first thing you have to understand about how a bill gets passed. It's never the president that passes the bill. The president signs off on the bill, says, okay, did you agree? Did you agree? Okay, you all agreed, I'll sign off on it. If it came to a point where, as they say on Ron's opinion, don't matter, if there was a king, none of this would be happening because the king would say, I don't care what you say. This is what I say, and that's it. It's a dictatorship. But all of you, or many of you rather, are complaining. So I sit back every single day and I listen. But recently it started hitting home because a lot of people started asking me personally, what did I think? And the same way I said to them, I'm saying to you guys here on YouTube and on Facebook and on Instagram and every social media platform that you know the Fat Chacho Show is on. Stop being so stupid and understand what you are screaming and hollering about. And again, yes, it's a terrible thing that many, many people are not going to get their monies for November. Now, it's not to say that it's not going to happen, because of course, as many of you believe, the president does have a power to override certain things. Yet you fail to understand that even as he chooses to override this one particular situation, he will not. Because what you fail to understand is it goes against the big, beautiful bill. The big, beautiful bill specifically states, and this is what was passed, it was passed into law. There is no such thing as any transgender. There is no such thing as a person saying that they can be something other than that they were born. Meaning, you're born male, you're male. You're born female, you're female. You cannot later on down the line say, well, I'm a polyamorous or some unforeseen name, or I want to be classified as a turtle. It doesn't work. And on top of that, you want to turn around and say that the president of the United States has to give you money to continue your operations that you chose to do on your own. So again, you have to ask yourself this question, especially the older generation that's screaming and hollering, my generation, screaming and hollering because of it. You keep failing to understand when you was a kid and you screamed and hollered to your parents said the same thing. Whatever dad said, goes. Whatever mom said, goes. You had to get a unanimous decision. So right now, if you want to start complaining and saying that the President Trump is the one that's responsible for possibly nobody getting any EBT for November or anything forward, I tell you what, get up, get in your cars, get in your motorcycles, get in your scooters, your bicycles, your e-bikes, your skateboards, your roller skates, hell, walk to your local government office to where your councilman is sitting and tell your councilman to give up his or her paycheck that they're getting and give it to the city. And watch how fast all of you that are looking for EBT money will have money. Because what you also don't realize is that the Democrats that are fighting for it not to get passed are still getting paid. So ask yourself this question. Why are you suffering but the person that you voted into office is getting paid? Why is it that the person that's in office is not finding a way to release their money that they have in their bank accounts or their donors or their, what they call that, in the YouTube world, we call them subscribers, but in the politicking world, they call it quiet donors. Okay? Why don't they go and they find all the money that's needed for the city that you live in? Stop screaming at the presidency. Stop screaming at the TV. Stop screaming at YouTube. Stop screaming on social media. Get your ass up. Go over to your local government office, which is AKA town hall, city hall, or wherever the mayor of your city is sitting. You go into that building and you go talk to the senator or the councilman that's in that building. Then you turn around and you tell them, I need X amount of money to feed my family for this month. You're getting paid, so go to your bank, pull it out, give it to me. Since you want to turn around and not agree to releasing the money the right way versus the wrong way. Because a lot of you still don't understand how it works. And when you don't understand how it works, this is what you wind up doing. You wind up complaining the wrong way. You're regurgitating the wrong information. And when you regurgitate the wrong information, you get people like myself that look at you with 5 different heads and say, well, damn it, Medusa, if you haven't figured it out what the hell's going on, then chop your own head and go in the ground. Because you don't need to be here. It's real simple. It's just that simple. Because again, you have to have a unanimous decision on releasing the money for EBT. If you can't come to an agreement of what has to be released, then no one is going to agree to it. And of course, you got to understand another point. Yeah, $600 billion is in the Federal Reserve to pay for EBT. Out of that $600 billion, some of that money also goes to illegal immigrants that are here illegally, families that are harboring illegal immigrants, and that makes it seem, the fact of the matter is, if you harbor a fugitive, you're just as guilty. You'll be charged with the crime. Same exact thing. So why would anyone in their right mind turn around and say, you know what? Let's go ahead and get the money. Let's go ahead and release that money. And whoever gets it, gets it. And then at the end of the day, you're trying to figure out why your taxes are going up higher, your house is getting robbed, your local store is getting robbed, people you know is getting killed. And then, of course, the most important part is, why am I not getting enough? And you have 15 kids with 17 baby daddies, and you're trying to figure out why you're only getting $500. Because again, you cannot and will not understand if a law is put into play. You cannot alter the law to fit your way of being. It doesn't work. Just like now, most of you drive cars, and I'm sure that most of you go above the speed limit. And I'm sure some of you get angry when you come up behind the driver that's not going as fast as you are or as fast as you want them to go. So then you hit your high beams, blow your horn. Next thing you know, they flip you off because what you're doing is absolutely wrong. It's real simple. Speed limit is a speed limit. You go above the speed limit, you get caught. Some people tell us, well, you didn't catch that other person. Police officer's going to turn around and say, well, I got you. And you're going to wear these tickets. And I'll see you in court. You better hope I don't find anything else wrong with the car. But then you're going to get more tickets. Real simple. So that's the same exact thing. The law is the law. So when the One Big Beautiful Bill was passed and it was split into law. Male is male, female is female. Illegal immigrants and illegal immigrant family members will not at any given moment receive any sort of federal funding. Because what you're doing is you're hindering the criminal. Because again, you are here illegally. You are a criminal. The same way that if you're driving your car above the speed limit, you're breaking the law. Yeah, there's a slippery slope. Some say, oh, well, the rules can be bended a little bit. Why can't they bend the rules for that one? Okay, because why? I'm going to tell you why. Because the majority of the people that voted on the Big Beautiful Bill and to have President Trump in office all agreed on the stupidity of society and what they're doing. That is the reason why we all agreed to get rid of the buffoonery. Because at the end of the day, our tax dollars does not have to go to a person's choice of living. Our taxpayers' money goes to those that are struggling and need a little assistance. Hence the reason why the key word behind it is called assistance. It is to assist you in reestablishing your self-sustainability. And if you don't know what that is, most of you have phones, so Google it. And if you don't understand what I'm talking about, then I strongly suggest that you dig a hole, jump in, and never come back out. Because at the end of the day, you fail to understand what is actually happening. The Democratic Party, Hakeem Jeffries, Chuck Schumer, Nancy Pelosi, the one from New Mexico, they're all fighting against Trump, saying that Trump is holding everyone hostage. Trump is the one that's not looking out for the people. Yet, if the Democrats cared so much about the people as they claim that Trump is not doing, why is it that they're still getting paid? Why is it that they're still collecting a paycheck? Why is it that they have not come up with a plan to expedite their own funding, that they all come together, put $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 each into a fund that will give everyone that's not getting from the Democratic Party any EBT, because I'm sure some of you would be much more happy knowing that you're getting $500. You was getting $2,500, so you get $500 this time. So what? You get a little bit. Every little bit helps. At the end of the day, you cannot say you're not getting any help, because that's what it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be help. It's not supposed to make you happy. It's not supposed to keep you alive. It's not supposed to make your ends meet. No, it's supposed to assist you so you get you what you need. And many of you continue to go the wrong way. So again, if you do not understand how the Senate works, first, stop screaming to your TVs. Stop screaming to other people who don't even understand it. Because 9 out of 10, you're talking to the people who don't even understand how it works. And you're probably talking and screaming to people who don't even care about how it works, because they claim or they believe it's not affecting them. So they don't give a shit. And those are the ones you're complaining to. And they're in your same boat. Because why? Because birds of the feather will flock together, which means if you're on welfare, you're going to complain to someone else who has welfare. If you're actually on EBT, you have EBT, you're going to complain to someone else that has EBT. What you should be doing, as I mentioned before, get your ass up, go over to your local councilman, go to the office, town hall, city hall, whatever they call it. Go tell the security guard, police officer, whoever is watching the door, say, listen, I need to talk to the councilman, councilwoman, senator, because they have offices there. And 9 out of 10, they're there because that's where they're getting paid at. They're not always in Washington, D.C. They have local offices. They come to your local town. They sit there. They talk to the people. And there's a reason for that, because they have to show that they care. Now, if you can sit back and say, well, I never met my Democratic councilman or Democratic senator, that right there is to tell you that they don't give 2 cents about you. They don't give a flying hoot, because the only time they come see you is when they're looking for a handout for you to donate to their cause. That's the only time they come out, and they want to talk to you. That right there tells you that you are voting for the wrong person, because they only want to deal with you when they're looking for you, just like the neighbor wants to talk to you when they need a cup of sugar, but they never talk to you any other time they see you in the street. So it's the same thing. You don't care about them, they don't care about you. What do you think the Democratic Party don't care about? Because again, you're talking about people who are earning anywhere between $60,000 to $100,000 a year, which, if you simply put mathematics into play, you're looking at about approximately $10,000 a month, give or take. Give or take, maybe more, maybe less. But surely they can definitely supply a grant to the locals that they live amongst or that voted them in, to giving them a share of their own personal finances. Why they won't do that? Because they only want your money. They want your money, and they want you to turn around and shut up and do whatever they tell you to do. Most of you, unfortunately, do that on a regular. But you sure as hell fight tooth and nail with your significant other. If you're married, you have a husband or a wife, you'll fight tooth and nail with them if they're not complying with what you want them to do. You'll stand 10 toes down and tell them that they're wrong, they're stupid, they're every other word in the book if they don't comply to what you want them to do. So I don't understand why you argue and scream at the wrong people. Because again, the one you should be screaming at is in your local office. Wherever that may be, that's who you need to go see. Tell them to give you some money. Tell them, you know what, the same donation that I made when you was looking to get elected into office, I need some of that back. And see how fast they turn around and look at you in the eye and say, well, we can't do it. That it doesn't work that way. Or they turn around and say, well, let me see what we can do. Let me see what we can do always turns out to be absolutely, positively, unequivocally nothing. You get absolutely nothing. Why? Because they already got what they want from you. The same way the last person you was involved with got whatever they want from you. Whether it was finances, a baby, which is still finances, and a car, cell phone bill paid, rent paid, mortgage paid, whatever the case may be. That's what you guys got involved with, right? That's what you got caught with. Layman's terms, you got caught with your pants down. And that's what you chose to do. That's what you chose to deal with. So stop complaining about President Trump. Stop complaining that nobody's getting EBT. Stop complaining that's the wrong thing to do. Stop believing the Democrats on TV and the news media and everywhere else are saying that President Trump is the wrong one. President Trump is the one that's doing things wrong, the one that's holding everybody hostage. No, the ones that's holding everybody hostage are the Democrats. Democrats are holding everybody hostage by not agreeing to simply go back to understanding why the big, beautiful bill was passed into law. That's the part that many of you fail to understand. The big, beautiful bill. You agreed to these terms over the course of 6 months ago. They agreed to the terms. Why now do you feel the need to disagree? Because it's not in your favor. Because you want someone to turn around and say, I want X. You shouldn't be getting X if you already agreed that no one's going to get X. And on top of that, the Democrats that disagreed with the one big, beautiful bill, or rather, the ones that agreed, because again, it got to come to a unanimous decision. So there were certain Democrats that agreed to the one big, beautiful bill. Those Democrats are getting pushback from other Democrats because they went against them. Layman's terms, you went against the grain, so you're not going to get anything that we're doing. Is it right? Absolutely not. Because how many times many of you gone against your teachers, gone against your loved ones, went against the person that you was involved with because you didn't agree with what was happening. It's the same damn thing. And again, you guys are screaming and hollering to the wrong people. So with that being said, I had to come up here and because the Fat Chancellor show is being revamped in so many different ways, from timing to moments of airing to even down to concepts of talk and shows. We're going to revamp it many ways around. So with that being said, as you guys can probably tell, my pups ran behind me and say hello, 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 hey. Where's the other one? Hey. So here's what's going to happen, folks. With that being said, as I always say, I'll see you later because you never tell your loved ones bye. And I will catch you all on the next time. And maybe, just maybe, you guys may catch me later on tonight, ranting and raving again. Because at the end of the day, between Ron's opinion don't matter and the Fat Chatter show, we're going to educate a lot of you stupid people to understanding why you arguing and screaming and voting for Democrats when the Democrats are the ones that are actually not allowing you to get paid and not allowing you to get benefits. So with that being said, till later on, till next time, we'll see what happens. Later.